What's up, Tech Gang? Stefan here from TechRight. Today we have the Galaxy A52 5G versus the Galaxy A12. Stay tuned. Alright everyone, hopefully you guys are having a good day. Today we're going to be putting the Galaxy A52 5G up against the Galaxy A12. Now the reason why I'm doing this is because they do have a pretty significant price difference, and I feel like it would be interesting to pretty much compare the specifications and other features of these phones and, see which one is more worth it. So we're going to go ahead and start that off in this video. Now, starting off with the prices, you can get the Galaxy A12 for about $120 on eBay, and the Galaxy A52 5G is about $450 on Amazon if you get the 6GB version. I right here have the 8GB version of this phone, but we're going to go ahead and compare the base model of the A52 5G versus the A12. So starting off, the Galaxy A52 5G is going to have a glass front that's going to be Gorilla Glass 5. We're going to have a plastic back, a single SIM or hybrid dual SIM, so you guys get to pick whatever one you would like to use, and IP67 dust and water resistance, up to 1 meter for 30 minutes. Going to the Galaxy A12, we have a glass front. This isn't going to be Gorilla Glass, I don't think. This is going to be a plastic back, a plastic frame, a single SIM, or dual SIM, if you guys would like to go ahead and utilize that feature. As far as the display, the Galaxy A52 5G is a Super AMOLED display, 120 Hz. This is a 6.5 inch device as well, 1080 by 2400p, and we have Corning Gorilla Glass as the protection, Corning Gorilla Glass 5 to be specific. Now for the Galaxy A12, we're going to have a 6.5 inch 720 by 1600p screen, and honestly I think the Galaxy A12 still looks really good for coming out in 2020, and being such a cheap phone, this device still has a very decent screen, and honestly I don't think there's really anything to complain about as far as the price goes. Now speaking on the platform, the Galaxy A52 5G is going to have Android 11 with One UI 3.1. We're also going to have a Qualcomm Snapdragon 750G. And that's going to be the 5G chip in this because this is a 5G device. As far as our CPU, we're going to have an octa-core processor. That's going to be our Cairo 570, and our GPU is going to be our Adreno 619, the same as the regular Galaxy A52. Now, as far as the Galaxy A12, we're going to have Android 10, so one lower model than the Galaxy A52 5G. So our OS is a little bit outdated, but it is upgradable to Android 11. So if you guys want to go ahead and do so, you can. And you guys can go ahead and upgrade that to One UI 3.1. Now, as far as the processor, we have a MediaTek Helio P35. That is going to be way less stronger than the Galaxy A52 5G, as you guys know. This device is going to be an octa-core processor, and we are going to have the Cortex A53. And as far as the GPU, we're going to have the PowerVR G8 320. Now, as far as the memory goes on the Galaxy A52 5G, we can expand our memory via micro SD card. We have 128 gigabytes of internal storage, 6 gigabytes of RAM in the base model, 128 gigabytes of internal storage, and 8 gigabytes of RAM in the higher model. And we have our third model, which is the best one, which is the one that I actually have, is 256 gigabytes of internal storage and 8 gigabytes of RAM. Now going over to the Galaxy A12, our highest model is only going to be 128 gigabytes and 6 gigabytes of RAM. Now going to the cameras on these devices, starting off with the Galaxy A52 5G on the left side, we're going to have a 64 megapixel wide camera, a 12 megapixel ultra wide camera, a 5 megapixel macro, and a 5 megapixel depth camera. As far as the features that we have on there, we have an LED flash, panorama, and HDR. And as far as video recording, we can shoot at 4K and 30 FPS, 1080p at 30 or 60, and we also have a gyro for EIS. Now going to the Galaxy A12, we have a 48 megapixel main camera that's going to be a wide camera with autofocus. Our second is going to be a 5 megapixel ultra wide, our third a 2 megapixel macro, and our fourth a 2 megapixel depth camera. Now we are going to have an LED flash, panorama, and HDR on this device as well. However, we can only shoot up to 1080p at 30 frames per second. Now, getting into the front-facing cameras on these devices, the Galaxy A52 5G has a 32 megapixel f2.2 aperture wide-angle lens for our front-facing camera. Our features include HDR, and we also can shoot up to 4K at 30 frames per second or 1080p at 30 frames per second on the Galaxy A52 5G. Now, on the Galaxy A12, we have an 8 megapixel f2.2 aperture as well for a front-facing camera, and we can only shoot up to 1080p at 30 frames per second for that. Both these devices have a loudspeaker, but the Galaxy A52 5G actually has stereo speakers, and they are very, very loud, and I absolutely love that feature. That's probably one of my favorite features about the A52 5G, but it is a very, very solid speaker. For the Galaxy A12, it definitely gets by, and I think it's worth it for the price that you pay. Both devices, you can use Bluetooth 5.0, which is great to see. And we can also use 5G on both these devices as far as our network. So we can use 5 gigahertz network, which is great to see on our Wi-Fi. Now, as far as the sensors and the features we have on the Galaxy A52 5G, we have a fingerprint sensor under the display. That's going to be our optical fingerprint sensor. And we also have an accelerometer, a gyro sensor, proximity sensor, and a compass. Going to the Galaxy A12, we only have a fingerprint, and it's side mounted, and a accelerometer. So let's go ahead and test these out. I think the Galaxy A12 has a really good fingerprint sensor. I really enjoy the fingerprint sensor, and it's actually pretty fast. I tend to like physical fingerprint sensors, so I'm definitely going to go with this fingerprint sensor. But we have a pretty quick one on the Galaxy A52 5G right here as well, as you guys see. Let's go ahead and hold that. Pretty quick fingerprint sensor, pretty accurate, as you guys can see. And I haven't really had any issues with this fingerprint sensor so far. Now, as far as the batteries on these devices, you cannot take the backs off these, so these are not user removable. But the Galaxy A12 actually beats the A52 5G in something, and that is the battery. So we're gonna have a 5,000 milliamp battery inside the A12 and a 4,500 milliamp battery in the A52 5G. Going to our charging, we can actually use fast charging on the Galaxy A52 5G, and you can actually charge up to 50% in about 30 minutes as advertised with a 25 watt fast charger. However, this device only comes with a 15 watt charger. For that reason, I do not know. And the Galaxy A12 is rated at fast charging for 15 watts. So, you know, I don't really see the difference until you buy a faster charger. So I don't really want to go ahead and compare them on that. But this is capable of 25 watts, so I guess by default this is a little bit better. Now, the colors that we have on these devices, going to the Galaxy A12, we have black, white, blue, and red. And going to the colors on the Galaxy A52, we have the awesome black color, awesome white, awesome violet, which is one I want to go ahead and check out, and awesome blue. So we have some really good colors on both these devices. It's just a shame that we don't get the A52 5G in red, and hopefully Samsung does that very, very soon. Now, comparing these devices' specifications and their prices, what device do I think is better? Well, if you guys want a budget device, go with the Galaxy A12 right here. And if you guys want a device that is a little bit more premium, almost flagship, go with the Galaxy A52 5G. In my opinion, I think the Galaxy A12 is definitely a much better deal. So I feel like it wins this competition today based off of just because it's 120 bucks. And this device, I paid over $600 for it because it's the top device with 256 gigabytes of internal storage and 8 gigabytes of RAM. So if you guys are looking for a good deal, the Galaxy A12 is a very good deal. And I still think the Galaxy A52 5G is pretty worth it as well. But hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, please leave a like down below, as well as subscribing if you're not a part of the Tech King already. Also hit the notification bell if you guys want to be notified every time I do upload a new video. This has been Safon from TechRight. Peace out, Tech King.